Okay, this is our quick little sound check. Can everyone hear me okay? Fantastic. We're very excited to have our first panel of the day, of our first day of the Crypto Valley Association Conference. This is our 7th time having the CVC, so thank you guys so much for joining us bright and early this morning. I would like to introduce our panel, Crypto Entrepreneurship in Emerging Markets, Needs, Opportunities, and Global Impact, moderated by Cristina Loustaunau. I would also like to give a special shout out that 2 of the people on the panel actually came all the way over from Mexico, so give them an extra little cheers on this one, please. And we're especially excited that this panel is featuring the CVA's Latin American Chapter. So I will let you guys take it away. Thank you so much.
Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here with all of you and our amazing friends right here. I'm Cristina Loustaunau. I'm part of the LATAM share at CVA, as Ellie said, and also I'm the co-leader of ICP HUB Mexico and a co-founder of Zona Tres, an incubator for LATAM. So today, I'm very excited to start this Crypto Valley Conference 2025. And for this, I will love to introduce my fellows, my friends over here. So Claudio, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. So hello, everybody. My name is Claudio. I'm co-founder of Metapool. We're a multi-chain liquid staking DAO. So we've been on mainnet since 2021. Also, I'm a co-chair of the LATAM chapter for Crypto Valley Association. And most recently, we helped launch ICP HUB Mexico to not only support developers, but also entrepreneurs from the region. And so happy to be here, all the way from Mexico City.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Yvonne Kagondu. I'm the lead of ICP HUB Kenya. So I'm from Africa, East Africa specifically. And what we do at ICP Hubs is that we evangelize, educate, incubate, and launch products on the Internet Computer Protocol. And I'm really honored to be here.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Fabiola. From CVC and CVA Labs. CVC is one of the oldest venture capital companies here in Crypto Valley. So here we have been supporting projects with funding here in the Swiss ecosystem with global startups. So as well, we have the pleasure to have in our portfolio several companies that are operating in emerging markets. And CVA Labs is an ecosystem builder because we think money without the right network and connections is not as effective. So the mission of CVA Labs is to create all the bridges and the activations for all the stakeholders to be connected and to have a ripple effect.
And also a very warm welcome from my side. Good morning. Very nice to see the motivated individuals attending the first panel here. My name is Tilma. My daytime occupation, I'm the CEO of Sul Payments, which is now transitioning to Gowd. We are a Latin American-based payment institution, and we combine local payment acceptance with cross-border USDT settlement. Now, at the CVA, I'm leading the working group education, in where we organize everything in and around blockchain education. That includes webinars, research journals, and all other activities. I'm still with one foot in academia, and I just published in the beginning of the year the book Short the Rib, the era of blockchain-based financial instruments. Please, if you want, meet me outside for a free copy, and looking forward for this panel. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those amazing introductions. So we are about to start. Our panel is Crypto Entrepreneurship in Emerging Markets. So at the end of this panel, if we have time, we can ask some questions to the speakers over here. So, yeah. Okay. I want to start with the first question for you guys. So what are some unique challenges you have encountered while building or supporting crypto projects in emerging markets? Is that clear, or I'm asked again?
It's perfect.
Okay. Yvonne, can you respond this question, please?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Christina. So as ICP HUB Kenya and all ICP hubs, we have about, I think right now we are about 20 ICP hubs. The aim at the end of the day is to launch projects. And the challenge we've been having, at least in our emerging market, that's Kenya and Africa in general, is that we are primarily a consumer market. That is, in adoption of crypto, we are among the leading, not just Kenya, but Africa, because of the needs of the currency issues that we have, the need for remittance, etc. So you find countries like Nigeria being second in crypto adoption. But we are not building enough. We don't have products coming from the Nigerian market. It's mostly Binance, BitGet, etc. that are leading the adoption there. So as ICP HUB Kenya, we wanted to change that narrative. We wanted to be producers. We wanted our people to create jobs for our region. We wanted more products coming from Africa, from Kenya, but as we went on with our trainings, with our incubation, we noticed that we didn't really have the producer culture. We didn't really have that drive from our students, from our developers. So we had to sort of pivot a bit and start a dev shop where we can link our students, our developer students especially, to startups in the ICP HUB ecosystem, and they can learn and benchmark from other startups from other regions, with the hope that in the long run we can be able to get more products from East Africa. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Yvonne. And it's amazing that work that you have been doing in Kenya. But let's know about another region like Brazil. Tilmar.
Yes, please. So in emerging market, it comes with opportunities and obviously challenges, right? When we look at emerging markets, and I think there's somehow everywhere similarities, especially in the Latin American market, it is all the issues we've faced in a very premature market. I sometimes say in my presentation and lectures, you can compare this with maybe Switzerland 2015, 2016, when there was not yet a meaningful regulation or regulatory environment for startups to start their project, or for investors to invest in startups which operate in a stable environment, legal environment. Another thing what also comes with those emerging markets is that sometimes regulation change overnight. So what happened in the last 2 weeks in Brazil is that the foreign exchange tax increased from 0.38 to 3.5% overnight. The government just changed, right? So obviously for us offering services in emerging market or cross-border, this is a challenge. And then last but not least, I think one of the main issue is having the understanding in the market, not only from the consumer using the product, but also from the regulator, from the banks, from the partners you need as a sparring partner. They are not yet so far like we, let's say, are here in Switzerland. We lived through this phase of explaining the government where the Crypto Valley Association did an amazing job to support the regulator to implement meaningful regulation. But all these pinpoints, they do not yet exist in, let's say, Latin American markets, Brazil, Mexico.
Amazing. Fabiola?
Yes, I want to add here, like I work for CVA Labs. So CVA Labs is an ecosystem builder. The only thing we do is to foster all these interactions among different stakeholders. I've been working in the space since 2018, and I'm fascinated about what we are capable to achieve, technologically speaking. Being here in Switzerland, I have seen amazing solutions, like things that are really, that have a transformative potential that you say, wow, this is fantastic, and this can make a difference in emerging markets, right? So we see technology is great, all the possibilities and the potential is fantastic, but why it is so relevant to create ecosystems? Because the main problem in our space is not technology. Our main problem is like to align the vision of different stakeholders that have the power to develop the projects in the different regions. So regulation is extremely relevant, and as well the alignment with among the different providers. So that's, let's say, from the offering side of the equation. But another important part as well is the user. The user awareness. It's like, okay, why should I use this? How this is benefiting my life or changing my life. In some cases, we will talk a little bit later in the next questions, it comes almost by necessity, not by option. But what is very relevant is that we need to have ways to communicate that are very straightforward, very easy, with user interfaces that are seamless. So up to now, one of the two main blockers for the crypto adoption has been, one is like the alignment of different stakeholders, and the second one is how friendly or how easy it is for the end user to grasp and to implement and to use.
Thank you, Fabiola. Claudio?
Yeah, so it's important to understand that the driver for adoption is necessity, right? That's the key thing. I know many in the audience might be entrepreneurs or working for companies interested in LATAM. Necessity is the main thing. If you're building a product, if you're building a service and offering it, you need to understand what's the necessity, right? Argentina leapfrogged everybody because they have a necessity. If you hold pesos, you're kind of like the dumb holding the bags, right? You know that it's going to be worth less tomorrow. It's a fact, right? And so what they do, they try to get dollars. It's expensive. It is very insecure because you're holding the dollars in under your rug or whatever, right? And so they get access to what? USDC, USDT. And what's the best way? Well, it's not going to be in Ethereum. They use Tron, right? Or they use Ripple as well. So they're using not the best tech, but the service and product that really solves the need, right? And so that's one of the key opportunities in LATAM. Key challenges, of course, Tillman said it, regulatory-wise, yes, it's a mess, right? Be prepared to engage regulators that maybe it's not in their best interest, right, to put this technology forward. Maybe you'll find regulators that they're open to it, right? You'll find institutions, right? Like BBVA, right? They have BBVA Switzerland is servicing right now BBVA Mexico. That's why it's now you have Mexican citizens and organizations that have access to crypto through the BBVA banking, right? But still, a lot of white space there. The most important thing that you need to understand is regulatory-wise, it's still unclear. Be very aware that you, like Tillman said, might change tomorrow, right? Do you have contacts in the government or with the regulator? That's really important. Yes, you need to do a lot of the lobbying and whatnot. That's part of the game. And third, yes, there's a lot of need of education. Like Fabiola said, why would somebody put their life savings or their daily savings in your product or service? It needs to be clear that you're solving an issue for them, right? And then access to dollars, that's kind of like the spearhead of everything. But it's now people are thinking, okay, it's DeFi. How do we engage with it? Can I get yield? How do I get access to it, right? And for me, the most important thing that crypto brings and the great opportunity is for people and organizations to really own the value that they create digitally. So that's the big unlock, right? Stable coins, again, that's spearheading everything. But I think DeFi will have its moment as well in emerging markets, especially in LATAM.
Thank you. Thank you for that thoughtful opinions. We can see how regions like Kenya to Brazil, Mexico, Latin America, and also from inside, like CVA Labs with Fabiola, the challenges are very different, but has one point in common, right? So thank you very much for this. And I would like to know what are those projects that for you have been a real impact in their regions, in your regions?
I'll start. So for me, one of the leading projects, and it's the mixture, and like Tillman said, right? It's the mixture between fintech or traditional finance and crypto, right? The outstanding one that I will say, it's like Lemon Cash. That's like a Revolut for Argentina. But then you have also this very small players, right? And in this case, it's Dito Banks. They're a neobank from El Salvador, right? That they're expanding to Mexico and leveraging the regulatory clarity that they have in El Salvador. It is no strange a movement that Tether is now headquartered in El Salvador. Stripe also has headquarters in El Salvador. They're doing that because, of course, they acquired Bridge, right? And with their recent announcement in the conference, the cat's out of the bag, right? So Stables is going to be at the forefront of every fintech in LATAM. And here a little bit of self-promotion. So in the case for us, we figured that staking was something that people were not really getting used to it after 4 years and operating mainly in LATAM. And so this year in Dubai, we launched our Node Studio program. We're allowing anyone to run a validator node right now for the Near Protocol blockchain for as little as $17 per month, right? And so we believe that staking is at the forefront because it is what we believe, an auto-compounding digital savings account. It is using native yield from the protocol, and so it is quite safe. But again, people were not used to self-custody, right? So they're used to more for paying for software. And so that's why we launched the Node Studio program. And so really excited about that one.
Okay, for us, I'll just echo what you said. It's always about necessity. So for crypto in Africa, in Kenya specifically, it came into the market by remote workers looking for when people started trading crypto, it started with remote workers looking for friendlier means of receiving money. Before it was always PayPal, and PayPal would wake up one day and decide, oh, we can't operate in Kenya, or your account is crashed with 40,000 USD. So crypto came into the picture by remittance workers, and it's always been about finance. Our currencies in emerging markets, from what I'm hearing in the panel, we all seem to have the same problems. Argentina, the currency going up and down. For us, it's having 54 different currencies, is it, in one continent. So financial instruments is what has been successful in our region. We have attempted, Kenya, for example, is primarily an agricultural country. With our developers, the developers that we've trained, there has been a lot of initiatives to try and create maybe supply chains, to try and create maybe loaning platforms for farmers, a lot of initiatives in the agricultural sector. But they unfortunately have not, when we're speaking about blockchain, primarily, what has taken over is finance, but every other sector is still struggling to come up. With good reason, it's always, as you said, about necessity.
Yes. I mean, here I will add, like, in our case, CVC has a portfolio of companies. Many of them operate in emerging markets, especially in Africa, and as well in other regions like Latin America. Need is the mother of all trades, so very important. Doing business in emerging markets is all about looking at people. We have in the portfolio that CVC has, there is a case of a company called Koala Pay that has been extremely successful. It's always like people need to be involved in a sincere way with a legitimate need. That's the key of success and scaling. So this person, it was very close to aid workers, persons that deliver aid in conflict areas like war or critical security areas. And it's very hard for aid workers and to receive the money, and as well for the funding. And then they created a solution that has been extremely effective, basically has streamlined all the hassle that people in, let's say, in conflict areas face to get liquidity or to get money. In emerging markets right now, obviously some of the biggest use cases, as Yvonne mentioned, is related to payments. And most of them, or many of them, come out of emergency. right now in Bolivia, there is no dollars. Literally, I mean, we don't see too much in the news, but the situation on the ground is almost catastrophic. Literally, they have no dollars. You can get maybe up to 100 or something in the bank, and the black market is soaring. Like the prices are just crazy. Obviously, people that do imports and exports, they need access to dollars, right? Because otherwise, how can they trade? How can they live? And right now, they are using peer-to-peer solutions. They are using Binance to get, and then USDC. Most of the traders there, they have no idea what is blockchain. They have no idea what is stable coins. But in a few months, they are fully literate. And what you mentioned, because it's like, there is a need. If the solution comes, people use it. So this is very relevant. In emerging markets, all the game is about looking at the people and really addressing their needs. If you have a right solution, you will get traction. As well, for us, it's very curious because obviously we know most of the change and providers, and technologically speaking, some can be superior, right? But what will go on the ground really is what is very easy. And sometimes, even for me, I get surprised, like, why they are using Tron? Like, I was like, why? Like, and I said, but in there on the field, very effective. Well, this is another case, and as well, there is as well, we need to consider as well the niche. Obviously, there is like the ones for necessity, but as well, please don't look the side on demographics. There is like the Generation Z and the younger, the people that are younger, they have a different view of what is wealth and what is money. And most of the people, they get information, and right now, oftentimes, young generations will buy first some crypto instead of buying a share. So their first experience with some type of, like getting exposure to a product or an instrument will be crypto. That will be instead of buying a share. So what is very particular in our regions, well, I'm Mexican myself, but I've been living overseas in Asia and here in Switzerland for many years. What is very relevant is like the density of the population. There is huge populations in a range of age that is quite young. So it is for them quite easy to get technologically savvy if you know well how to drive them. And then where the potential drives in our markets is the mass. In there, you can get mass adoption. Here in Switzerland, there is fantastic things. I mean, the market here is extremely well developed, and there is so many possibilities. But Switzerland is tiny. It's a small market, right? But in there, possibilities are endless. So, as Claudia mentioned, maybe you need to work. You need to invest, work with regulator, but if you really tap into the right niche and work diligently, the rewards are big.
And that's why we're supporting Crypto Valley Association there, right? And with Tillman, we work with the education side as well. That's key. Like, we need to educate not only the end user, but also the regulators, right? The government as well, private organizations as well, not only banks, right? You got insurance as well. A lot of real-world assets that are waiting to be tokenized, right? We saw a great project in Colombia, right? That they were tokenizing carbon credits, right? And it was a very profitable business. And so how do you open that up? I think that's something that is still waiting to be unlocked, right? And for us, the most important thing is one, like we've talked numerous times, the need, the ease of use, and more importantly, like how friendly it is for people to understand complex financial instruments. Like, there's no financial education, at least in Mexico. It's for the 0.1%, right? Here in Switzerland, yes, that's something that you teach your kids when you get to primary school, right? Savings account. That in Mexico, what's that, right? In Kenya, what's that, right? Doesn't happen. And so I believe that that's going to be something of a low-hanging fruit for institutions and private and public organizations that really deep dive into how this educating people unlocks value creation that they are going to own. Because this is very important. People will trust Binance better than a bank, right?
Yes.
There's no questions asked. For the younger generations, it's like, no, I'm not going to open a BBVA. Sorry about it if somebody works there in the bank, right? So I'm throwing them under the bus. But they rather put their money in Lemon Cash, for example.
Yes.
Right? They can trade it for meme coins, or they can trade it for whatever, right? And they can trade it with their peers as well. That's
Yep.
something that the bank's not going to enable, right? They will need to get, and pardon my English, their shit together, because if they don't happen, they're going to miss like the largest population in growth in the whole world, right? And I'm missing Southeast Asia as well, right? And so I think that the unlocking will happen when education comes in with the value creation and allowing the newer generations to really spearhead projects that can drive growth for the region.
Yes, something very relevant just to add. We have a startup. Their name is Picnic. And this gentleman is based in Brazil. He started out of passion, like many years ago, working on the space. And he really wanted a completely decentralized solution because he really believes this is possible. So he started implementing it, and he has been promoting, and he has traction. So as well, younger people are very open to new ideas. So his business now is thriving. And this week, they just launched in Brazil, in partnership with Gnosis Pay, a credit card. So basically, people had been doing owning crypto, then it's completely decentralized on her app. But now, with the integration of the credit card, people can do on-ramp, off-ramp. And he told me, I just contacted him yesterday, and he told me, in 1 week, we issue 800 cards. And then, I mean, it's like we just make an announcement, and then, 1 week, 800 cards. So in those markets, the potential is huge. And the younger guys or the younger people, they really get interest. They explore. They really are looking for new opportunities.
Thank you. I would like to hear Tilmar also about this.
Use case, and again, looking from the perspective of payments. You can guess by my name, I'm not Latino by myself. I used to spend much time of my younger life in Brazil, in Mexico, and I'm German by origin, but living here, so I have this both perspectives. So one thing I need to always explain with local banking partners here in Switzerland is that this use case we're having in Brazil, it doesn't necessarily exist here. What does it mean? So of course in Switzerland we have Twind as an alternative payment method, but it got implemented in 2015. It's a consortium of banks. It's nice to have. I think it only has around 50% of population really using it, having an annual transaction volume of close to 1 billion, right? Tiny numbers. When I go to the banks and show them the volume we push per month, they look at me, it's like, where does this money come from? It's like, we're in Brazil, it's 300 million people. In 2020, the Central Bank of Brazil implemented something like Twind. It's called PIX. But it was a different approach. It was a top-down approach. The Banco from Brazil said, we need now all the fintechs to implement everything. So within five years, PIX has now more than 150 million users. I think population dominance is around 80%. It quickly became the main alternative payment method. So now you can see the necessity in those markets. If you have traveled yourself to emerging markets, years ago there was cash. They never really made this credit card thing, and now it's digital. So you have this necessity of people using this in terms of payment. Then, of course, when we look at cross-border, nightmare. Sending money from Switzerland to Germany again, no problem. It's there tomorrow, right? No issue. But sending money from Brazil to maybe a crypto company based in BVI, or maybe let's bet it be in Switzerland, it is impossible to push large sums. And I get asked by the banks always the same question. We push volume and they're like, what is this? I explained to you, it's the same client, it's the same recipient, nothing changed. Oh yeah, it's blocked for days. But the problem is that it's not that we do something illegal, but our clients, they need this money for operational purposes. So it cannot be stuck somewhere in limbo with the intermediary banks. They need it to pay salaries, right? So this is a big problem in the region. And I see this use case picking up in all the other Latin American countries. Mexico has SpayPay or OxoPay, where you could technically order products online, but you pay in cash in a store, and the store manages the fiat leg for you, right? And then in Colombia going on, all of these markets have the necessity, payments, currency, deflation. Give them anything else than local currency and they take it.
Thank you all of you. And those responses are inspiring, and they are reminding us that crypto isn't just about code and capital, but also about people, right? So thank you. We are reaching out about the end of this panel. So looking ahead, what do you believe is most needed to unlock the next wave of crypto innovation in emerging markets? Yvonne, I start with you.
Well, I think the main point that has gone around is necessity. And we have, as Claudia has mentioned, we have quite a need in emerging markets. For example, in Africa, we have the youngest generation. We have a median age of about 19, and we are growing so fast. And we're not stopping. As other countries, we are like going the opposite of everyone else. So for the next wave, the first point that was mentioned by Tilma, which was regulation, for now, I can say the experience in Kenya has been shifty. There are countries like Nigeria which completely banned crypto, completely banned Binance, but people are still using it. But in Kenya, it's been quite friendly. We've had a sandbox for crypto startups by the government, but we're still very cautionary. For example, the Central Bank of Kenya is like, okay, banks don't accept it, but people are still trading it. But at the same time, I think there's more that can be done by the government, by our governments. We still can't, innovation will always come before regulation. But at the same time, I would wish that our governments are more open to it. And at the same time, we are really pushing for innovation from ICP HUB Kenya. We have so far the biggest blockchain developer community in the country, and we're having a huge hackathon coming up next month, I believe, and we really want to see what will come from it. We've gone mainstream, we are doing everything right, we are doing everything legally, we're working with governments, we've done so many partnerships. And from that, we've had a lot of competition from other chains, from the work that we've done, and competition always breeds efficiency. I just believe that what will bring the next generation of innovators is the state of kinesis, where we just don't stop. I think we're in the right direction. So I think in the next 5-6 years, we'll have more opportunities come up, more startups coming up, more. So I do believe what we are doing is the right path. Yeah.
Thank you, Yvonne. Dilmar.
I think mainly looking how to get more users, right? In the case of Brazil, it is, yes, we need regulation, but our experience has been, we have been always a little bit earlier than the regulator. Then regulation came, the regulator looks at who is there already. It was us, okay, give them the license, they know what they do. Right? So I think the adoption here really is, what I'm looking for is simple UX, UI. If you sign up on Binance, yes, maybe the people in the room get it, but the normal person from next door has no idea how to sign up in Binance. So it needs to be simple, straightforward. In the beginning, leave out all these DeFi, token, coin market cap, page 6, give them BTC, ETH, a stable coin, maybe USDA, a yield generation stable coin, and that's it, guys. and that will drive adoption. Easy user friendliness.
Well, here, adding to what Tilman say, very relevant. Just, I love this saying, don't tell me what you want to sell, offer me what I want to buy. So critical, look at people, address their needs, and really, really follow and listen to your target market and develop it. It's like, it's as simple as that. Like, it's all the keys with people. And why? Because basically when you offer something that people are really using, oftentimes what I have seen in the space is like when there is massive traction, then it is too hard for anybody to stop, so they have to comply. I mean, when there is something that is massively used, then neither the regulator, neither whatever can say no, because just you'll reach this critical mass, and well, it's difficult to stop. So it's like Bitcoin or all the cases we have seen in the space. So my advice is if you are building something, just get passionate, listen, find your niche, listen to your people, and be very, very diligent. And well, some of the biggest organizations that in the space, they went fully into it, they apply and they got the critical mass, and then regulation came. Then this is something you have to solve, of course, but if you wait too long, well, nothing will really happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, the most important thing that's going to sprout innovation is one, regulatory clearance. I think it's important, but many of us that operated in 2021 or 2020, we did it with no safety nets and no regulatory clarity. That kind of hurt us a little bit, mostly on the staking side. But I think the most important one that is coming up is you're going to see stable coins for the Mexican peso, so Peruvian sol, right? You're going to see it for Colombian pesos as well. Then the different liquidity pairs there. So there's going to be very, very big arbitrage opportunities there. And I think that's going to sprout the next wave of innovation and allowing fintech applications to really bridge the crypto or blockchain technology with TradFi. And then I think a mixture there and a hybrid model will come out of there. So yeah, really interesting stuff to see the next coming months for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your insight. And okay, I'm going to give a pause. And if any of you want to ask a question for our speakers, this is the time to do it. So, anyone? Yeah?
We actually have just 1 minute, so we'll have one question. You were fast on the draw.
Thank you very much. So I heard a lot of needs, like cross-border transactions, and I heard saving the money in Argentina in order to have that money tomorrow as well. What about local day-to-day payments? Is that a need?
Yeah, sure. So this was addressed basically by Mercado Pago, right? Mercado Pago now has crypto payments, right, in Brazil and in Argentina, but not regulatory clearance in Mexico, for example. You cannot use it. You cannot use stable coins or Bitcoin to pay somebody in Argentina. So that's still something that cross-border payments still not there, but that's a big opportunity, right? But it's being used for day-to-day payments, at least in LATAM, yes.
Yeah, I could add, for Kenya, we are seeing Binance Pay really doing well because it's free, it's fast, it's immediate. So, and I'm seeing them in local shops. They're setting up like stands and booths. So I think it's a need and it's working. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ellie, we are about to finish.
We're all out of time. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Thank you all also for joining us for the first panel here in the Audi MIDI room. And again, a special thank you for the parts of our panel that came all the way from Mexico, and all of you for sharing your knowledge with us today. So
thank you. Thank you, everyone.